Hello, this is Andrea Gatti from Drum Arts, and today we're talking about the Moeller technique. In this video we'll show you the steps that I recommend using to approach this technique, since it's quite complex, and we are going to analyze it step by step. Now, I use this method with my students and I've been having good success, so I encourage you to stay with me. If you haven't done so, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you can be advised as we publish our videos. You can also join our communities on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. You can follow us on Instagram, on TikTok. So I look forward to see you there. So here we go with the Moeller technique. Now, what is the Moeller technique and how do we apply it, and what is the purpose of it? So the Moeller technique was a technique created in order to give accents and to play very loud. Now, keep in mind that in the old days, the drummers were usually used in the battlefield, and they would give tempo to the army, so they have to be heard like in very loud contexts. Like, just imagine being in a battle and there's cannons, there's rifles shooting, there's explosions, and you're leading the army with a drum. So you want to be sure everybody can hear you. So the drummers would pull out accents using like a whip motion. Now, so let's look at it step by step. Now, if I'm playing accents and I'm using my wrist motion, what I will have to do, I will have to pull up my wrist and start from a from an up position in order to give an accent. Now, with the Moeller technique, I exploit the movement of the arm starting from my shoulder and I give a whip. Now, in this video, I'm just going to show you that motion. I'm not going to talk about the pumping motion or the wrist bounce finger, because we're gonna see that later. So the way that I do it with my students, I like to divide the time into motions. Why? Because if we understand that movement fills the time, we can work on our coordination and work on the details of the movement. I really encourage you to start this very slowly. So let's start and analyze it. So the Moeller technique, you start by raising your elbow and you have to arrive in this position. You have to think as the point of the stick is very heavy. Then you're going to whip down and pull out the accent. Now, let's do it step by step. So step number one, you will pull out your elbow and you're going to leave the stick at the center of the pad. So you're not moving the point of the stick, you're just pulling up your elbow towards the outside. Step number two, the wrist kind of follows by coming up and you're creating this wave. So it's 1, 2, and when you're in this position, on 3, you'll whip. Let me do it again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're probably asking yourself, why is he hitting on 3? Well, because as I said, I'm trying to use that space of time with the movement. So on 1, I will start pulling up my elbow. With 2, I follow, and with 3, I give the note. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And just imagine like using a whiplash. Just imagine creating a wave, because that's the purpose. So we can get out a lot of power from this movement. And also keep in mind there's 3 heights of the Moeller. There's the full Moeller, which I'm doing now. There's the medium Moeller and there's the low Moeller. But they all have the same nature. What I mean with the same nature? They're all movements that are whips. So there's always that wave. Even if you're just doing the low Moeller, you're applying the same movement. I suggest you studying the full Moeller, because when you're studying a new motion, a new movement, it's always best to do it slowly and emphasize the movement. Why? By emphasizing the movement, it's like being under a magnifying glass. You can see if you're doing it correctly, you do it slowly, and also this gives time to your brain to learn it, to understand it, and you memorize it. Now we're going to introduce the downstroke, the tap stroke, and the upstroke. So, how do we apply these movements? Well, the downstroke is going to be the motion that we've already looked at. The tap stroke is nothing else than tapping the pad. And an upstroke is a note that I give while I'm going up. For example, let me show you. I'm going to do an upstroke, a downstroke, and 2 tap strokes. I will start always with the upstroke because I want to emphasize the winding up of the movement, so I'm prepared. The preparation is the most important part. If you have a good preparation, it will be very easy to get a good motion. So here we go. So up, notice how I'm doing the up. I'm giving the up as I come up. So my point of the stick is going to be in the same position, and I'm just tapping as I come up. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you notice now, I'm doing one motion when I'm winding up my arm, because that's how it has to be. Before I divide it into 1 and 2 into elbow and wrist, just to give you an idea, but the motion is actually 1, and you want to do it as one movement. Once this step is successful, I suggest you to actually start with an accent. So you're going to have a down on the 1 with the accent, 2 taps on 2 and 3, and you're going to prepare on 4. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, tap, tap, up. Down, tap, tap, up. Down, tap, tap, up. Down, tap, tap, up. You can also do this exercise in 3/4 if you prefer. I suggest to do it in a second time. And you can just use the down, 1 tap, and the up. And this is like a little introduction to what will be the pumping motion that I will show in the next video. 1, 2, 3. Down, tap, up. 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 Now let's look at a little application that we can do. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna execute the movements of the down, tap, tap, up, down, tap, tap, up. And I'm gonna do one measure with the movements. And then the following measure, I'm gonna insert my left hand, which is gonna just do taps. So I'm gonna play the first measure as 8 notes. So I'm gonna do twice the movement, and then I'm gonna do the second measure with 16 notes, which I'm gonna do still twice, the movement twice, but I'm gonna insert also the left hand. So this gives us an idea of a roll with an accent. So here we go. Keep in mind that in this exercise, I'm still considering this a preparation to the Moeller technique, because the Moeller technique implies that you would also release the stick if you're doing the pumping motion. Now here we go with the first application you can do as an exercise just to get more confident with the movement. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4. This exercise is very useful to understand when we are using the movement and how to apply it inside of a context. Okay guys, it's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will continue with this topic on the next 1 or 2 videos. And stay with us. We look forward to see you again. God bless you. Bye bye.